Welcome to Talk of the Town Sunday Recap. It's your boy Peyton Warnock and Jalen Diaz. This week's episode of Talk of the Town, we'll be breaking down and discussing what we saw in every game from Sunday. We appreciate you guys for tapping in, and make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. The first question of today from Mr. Warnock
Let's talk about it.
Do you expect this win to propel the Colts into the season we expect?
Hell yeah! It's turnaround time, baby. Super Bowl. We back, Jay. We back. Well, Frank Reich is still an idiot. Still. This team finally showed flashes of how good they can be. But you know what the most important thing is, Jay? Matt Ryan, though he didn't have the best game, he didn't turn the ball over. It's so important that Matt Ryan doesn't turn the ball over. That is the biggest key for us right now. Because on a day where Taylor was kind of struggling, Matt Ryan, for the most part, was controlling the game on the offensive side of the ball. 27 for 37, which is about 73%. 222 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's perfect. That's all we need for Matt Ryan. No more, no less. Taylor will come around. He'll have his big games. That's what we need out of Matt Ryan. No turnovers. Get the ball in the end zone when we need to. And complete a good percentage of your passes. Keep the clock moving. Because we don't need we don't need Patrick Mahomes on the field anymore. We don't want Patrick Mahomes on the field. The big X factor is that Shaquille Leonard will be healthy soon. So the defense is only going to get better. Matt Ryan can figure it out on offense. Continue to play like that. Bringing back one of the best players on the defensive side of the ball in the league. It's turnaround time.
Super Bowl? No. But to propel into the season that we expected, me personally, I'm like no, but yes, because like at the end of the day, you got to be honest with yourself. If he doesn't make that stupid unsportsmanlike conduct, you guys don't win that game.
That's a good point.
You got a second chance, but I'm not mad though because you guys executed.
The thing is though, Jay, if your aunt had balls, she'd be your uncle. We're not talking about ifs. That's what happened.
That is true. That is true. That is very. I won't take away from the fact that Matt Ryan had a game. That's how you win football games. 222 yards, only 10 incompletions, no turnovers from him. Granted, it was a couple of times he could have thrown the ball away. He was sitting there trying to. He was accepting the pressure, which isn't a bad thing. I feel like overall, though, I just think offensively, there's just adjustments that need to be made. The ball was getting going in the air, but he had Jonathan Taylor couldn't get it going on the floor. He only had 21 carries for 71 yards by the best back in the league. And like you said, when it comes to Frank, I'm still questionable about Frank. Yeah. And I'm hoping he can continue to make the adjustments he needs to make as a head coach so he can, because that is your offensive coordinator too. So if he's not right overall, then your offense will never be right. I think this season is propelling into, something that you guys expect to. And if you guys go to Super Bowl, by all means, go to the goddamn Super Bowl. Shaq is coming back soon. And, please, it would be a pleasure to see your Colts in the Super Bowl. How can the Ravens become champions?
For one, the obvious answer is they need Lamar to continue to play like an MVP and continue to dominate. Well, yesterday wasn't. I wouldn't call it a extraordinary performance. He's 18 for 29, 218 yards, 4 passing touchdowns, 1 interception, and then on the ground, 11 carries, 107 yards, and another touchdown. That's what Lamar did yesterday. But on the season so far, he's got the most passing touchdowns in the league outright with 10. Only person with 10. He's only got 2 interceptions. He's got the highest passer rating. And this man is top 5 in rushing yards, too. He needs to continue to dominate and prove that he's worth $100 million, $200 million, $300 million, $400 million. What I saw yesterday, O-line play from Baltimore was great. And Lamar looks much more comfortable in the pocket. Dobbins is finally back after 700 days. He wasn't doing much yesterday. They need to slowly work him into the offense, but the running game I expect to improve a lot, which is huge. And then the biggest thing, the reason they lost to Miami was the defensive collapse. The defense absolutely flipped the switch in the fourth quarter yesterday. Took the ball away 3 times. They need to take what they did in that fourth quarter with that sense of urgency and that intensity, and they need to play every quarter like that.
Absolutely.
Because Marlon Humphrey is one of the best anchors I've seen on defense. He is ridiculously good, and he holds that defense together. So if he's healthy, I expect the defense to be better.
They can be a championship team. if they stay healthy defensively and not turn the ball over. Costly turnovers and injuries have cost them a lot, not a lot of wins in the past, but definitely a decent amount of wins.
I mean, postseason wins for sure.
Yeah. So overall, I would say, like, as long as Lamar keeps playing like MVP Lamar, maybe even better, considering that he's been sitting in that pocket more, progressing with his reads and making those throws that people say he couldn't make before. So overall, I definitely think that was a big win for them yesterday. And if they can keep that momentum up and Lamar keeps playing like how Lamar is playing, he's going to get paid and hopefully they can win a Super Bowl. Yeah. I was kind of glad we put this one, you did this one into the script. Is Jalen Hurts officially on MVP watch?
You're damn right he is.
Okay. Okay.
No,
okay.
Jalen Hurts is absolutely on MVP watch. Let's talk numbers, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about some numbers. I got him. Let's talk numbers. 67% passing, 916 passing yards, and 4 touchdowns. You don't like those numbers? All right, let's go with these numbers. 167 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns. Oh, you're not a fan of those numbers? How about 3-0? Those numbers do it for you? That's MVP type numbers.
Executed in all parts of the field. Jalen Hurts is on MVP watch for me. I say about 75%. It's 163 yards and 3 touchdowns. Only 1 fumble and 1 interception too, which is because last year he turned the ball over a fairly good amount. Yeah. So it was like this year he's, the progress that we're seeing.
I think an important thing for Jalen Hurts is that he's trusting his receivers, and that's something a lot of young quarterbacks don't do. They wait for the time or the read where they know that the receiver's going to get open. I think not fearing an interception and trusting your receiver to go up and get it in a one-on-one is actually really important. I think Jalen Hurts having that trust in Smith and Brown, which, I mean, you got to trust those guys, but having the trust in them to make the plays, they will make the plays. That makes him better. That makes the team better. That makes the receivers better. And that's one of the reasons why he's playing so well this year.
This is one of my favorite games from yesterday. Miami defeated Buffalo 21-19. What was the key takeaways from the game?
I think the biggest takeaway is that the Dolphins are the real deal. Flat out. There's no other way to put it. Great performances from Tua so far this year. They got a great defense to go along with it. They didn't allow Buffalo to score a touchdown in the second half, which is very, very big considering how Buffalo's played so far this season. To switch over to the Bills side, Josh Allen was playing backyard football in the second half. 63 passes Josh Allen threw. I think that's way too much. I know he's one of the best, but I think 63 is just ridiculous.
They had a crazy amount of plays compared to Miami.
Yeah.
I don't mean to cut you off, but my biggest takeaway from that game was that somehow, some way, the Bills dominated the game overall. But the takeaways was the defense by both teams. The Bills had a total of 90 plays, while Miami only had 39. So that means the Bills was just traveling up and down the field, but Miami's defense, every time they got to that red zone, they were executing and they weren't scoring. Like you said, bend don't break. The Miami is the real deal. Like you said, that offense is dangerous. It's clicking over there right now. Tua's playing great football. He's sitting in the pocket comfortably. I've seen a lot of Miami fans yesterday. I've been seeing a lot of Bills fans yesterday. Getting a little spooky out here, It's getting a little spooky out here.
I'd like to see a nice little rivalry over the next couple of years. Young quarterbacks, good teams. I like to see this turn into a little rivalry.
Just transitioned over to being a Raiders fan, and
how's that going for
It's already looking a little sad for me. Do the Raiders suck? I'm gonna start this one off. The Raiders don't suck. They just can't. They just can't execute. Plain and simple. That's all it is. I don't have much to say besides the fact that there was a lot of mistakes, drop passes, and the defense not being able to adjust when they needed to. Because as you can see, you can watch the game. Our DBs aren't our strongest suit, but our linebackers are pretty good. We were stopping the run. But then, obviously, if you're a smart offensive coordinator, they're stopping the run. You're anticipating the run. You're going to throw it short, too, because Ryan Tannehill rarely ever throws the ball more than, I feel like, 10, 15 yards down the field.
Yeah.
And then they'll hit you for that, one or twice down the field for about 30-yard pass, and they'll execute. They need to adjust. Remember, also, this is the first-year head coach from us coming from Pats. So, Josh McDaniels, first year coming over for him. So it's a lot of adjustments that needs to be made. 0-3, though, not a good start, not a good look. I definitely think we can make some adjustments. It's just that they need to sit down and reevaluate everything that's going on right now.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we're gonna have to have this conversation eventually between the about the AFC West, and I think we'll wait until we get to the Chargers. But Maybe there was some hype going around about the AFC West that shouldn't have been going around because it doesn't look too good as of right now.
Thoughts on the Saints Panthers? Have you changed your mind about that?
Yeah, I think I have changed my mind about the Saints. Honestly, I think I might have been wrong. I didn't change my mind about Baker. He still stinks, but
Yeah,
uh,
4 yards and
Jameis
3 quarters.
Jameis with another 2 picks, and one of them was a pick six. I said, he's gonna stop turning the ball over. He's gonna improve, and he hasn't. So I can 100% say that I was wrong. I expected him to be better. I had confidence in Jameis Winston, and I was wrong. The defense played well. That's what I thought was gonna be the biggest factor for them this year was the defense. And it's been great, but the offense turned the ball over 3 times. 2 interceptions for Jameis and a fumble for Kamara. So the defense couldn't really do much more. They were slowing Baker, they were slowing everybody. But at this point I could definitely say I believe I'm wrong on my prediction. It's still very possible, but I don't see them pulling out 10 wins this year.
I don't think we can count the Saints out yet, but I definitely think if Jameis Winston doesn't get his act together when it comes to turning this damn ball over, then yeah, then the Saints might not be okay. Vikings come back to beat the Lions 28-24 in the fourth. Any thoughts on that?
I mean, I'm excited for the Vikings this year. It's a big win, trying to win the division, dethrone the Packers, which is an accomplishment in and of itself. But run game was a force. Cousins had a good game. Just overall, a good team comeback, and it's fun to see the improvements from the Lions, even though they're 1-2, because the wins will come. The wins will come, and I'm excited to see that. I don't root for or against the Lions. I just think a team that was just complete garbage, complete rebuild the last 2 years. Just to see them improving over time is gonna be cool to see. And despite the blown lead, I can see the improvements.
Jared Goff is. I'm not saying he's going to make a dramatic change for them, but he's a dude capable of hopefully getting it to the point where they can make some noise. Hopefully.
Seems like it, yeah.
'Cause in the past he has done some good things when he was with the Rams. He just couldn't get it done all the way for the championship. But I definitely like to see where the Lions are going. And like you said, for the Vikings, this is a big win for the Vikings. You are excited for the Vikings. I like the Vikings personally. Great offensive team. And if they could dethrone the Packers, that would be delightful to see because, I'm sick and tired of hearing the cheese heads all damn day. Oh, this game right here. I think this game was hot trash. Bengals beat the Jets 27-12 was the first win of the season. What did you see out of that?
It's really not much. They're supposed to win that game, so I'm not gonna read too much into it. It was a solid game from Joe Shiesty, and it made up for a bad game out of Mixon. But like I said, I don't read too much into this. They're supposed to beat the Jets. They're a much better team, and now they got the real tests with the Dolphins and then at Baltimore in the next 2 weeks. And I'm here to say right now, you could take a clip of this, you could post it wherever you want. If they lose the next 2 games, Miami and at Baltimore, season's over. Chalk it up. Season is over.
Even though they won 27-12, it was very close when it came to numbers. It was only 330 total yards for the Bengals, while the Jets finished with 328 total yards. But obviously, the biggest takeaway for the Jets was the fact that they turned the ball over 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't help them at all because you give the team 4 more chances to execute on scoring and stuff like that. So I believe the Bengals got away with a bumpy win, in my opinion, even though the score doesn't look that way. That's how I feel about it overall. Thoughts on Texans Bears?
All I really got to say about this game is that I expected improvement from Justin Fields this year, and frankly, he might be the worst starting quarterback in the league right now. I have it's just he has not been good. He has not shown the improvement that I expected. On the flip side of things, the team is now 2-1, and they're tied for first. So really, what you have to ask is that your team improves behind the young franchise quarterback, and that's what they're doing. I know Khalil Herbert was the offensive MVP. Roquan Smith was the defensive MVP. Both of those two had a huge games, X factor. But I mean, just ugly performances out of Fields is the downside. But the positive side is you're still 2-1. 2-1 is 2-1, no matter how you slice it.
Absolutely.
2-1 is still 2-1, and the winning is the most important thing.
I think it was just a straightforward game. Like honestly, even though he didn't perform well, I think it's a good win for Fields, and the Bears overall. It gives them momentum for the upcoming games. They, like I said, you can build off these type of wins. Even though it wasn't the best win in the world, it was the Texans, nothing crazy, but You can still build momentum off these. And hopefully, I would love to see him perform as he should perform. But as of right now, he's not doing what he needs to do. And it's a little worrying, This is a question of the week, honestly, I feel like from all people who watch sports.
Yeah.
Should we be concerned about the Chargers?
Before I answer that, I want to talk about the team that won the game.
Okay, that's fine. I would love to talk about it. I would love it.
Deserve time to develop while the roster improves. We said that at the start of the year, that these young quarterbacks can't just be written off right away. They need time. They don't just happen. They don't just Patrick Mahomes. They don't just Lamar Jackson. It doesn't happen. You need to get these young guys time to develop, and that is what is happening with Trevor Lawrence. He showed out once again, proving that he is a future star of this league. Let's just talk about these numbers real quick, Jay. 28 for 39, Please. 262 yards, 3 touchdowns, 38-10, ass whooping.
Doug Peterson, clean-cut execution yesterday, my boy. It was unreal watching them play. They were unreal yesterday. They literally picked apart that defense yesterday. And for defensively, they literally took the Chargers, wiped their asses with them, and throw them back into San Diego.
I'm going to answer the question. I'm going to say a little bit. Not too much, but a little bit.
Yeah.
They just got absolutely dominated in the air, on the ground, against a team that's not supposed to be that good this year.
No.
We expected improvement. I said 6-11, but the Chargers are supposed to be like damn near Super Bowl contenders this year. And just to get smoked at home in SoFi, it's a little concerning. Just a little bit. If they struggle, listen, here's what I'll say. If they struggle again this year, and if they miss the playoffs, we need to have a very serious conversation about Justin Herbert. And I'll leave it at that.
I don't think we should be too concerned, but like I said, last year we were like, yo, this team could possibly go to the Super Bowl next year. And then they put up 10 points. They get smoked 38-10 by a team that not even a year ago was even considered an NFL team. There's going to be a lot of talking about it, a lot of conversation and talking later in the season if they don't figure it out. Will the Rams kick up and make another Super Bowl push?
I think they have the talent to, and I think most of the NFC does not have the talent to. So in my eyes, they should be able to make a Super Bowl push once again. As long as Stafford doesn't turn the ball over, it's very similar to the Colts. As long as he doesn't turn the ball over, they'll be fine.
I'm not too worried about them. I definitely think they could still make another run because it wasn't about a year ago. I think it was last season where the Chiefs had a slow start and they still ended up doing what they did.
Yeah.
So it was like it's the same thing with the Rams. Slow start. They have the stars. They have the athletes. It's just things aren't clicking as soon as they wanted it to. A team that we should be worried about is these motherfucking Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I am extremely worried about them. Something about that organization and team right now that I don't feel comfortable about as a sports fan. I feel like there's a lot more going on than sports aspects when it comes to that organization.
I don't really think that they should be worried despite the offensive struggles. Because, listen, they've looked bad on offense. We could agree that they have not looked like the Tampa Bay Bucs should. 2-1. 2-1 still. First place, outright. Mm-hmm. Nobody else is 2-1 in the NFC South. Tommy Tablets, his numbers look fine, but he's not getting into the end zone right now. And that is a problem, but their defense has been ridiculously good. And I have confidence in the offense to fix itself because it is Tom Brady. They're missing a lot of players, especially his weapons. I said they have the Avengers. Well, Thanos did the thing, and they're all gone now. Mike Evans was suspended. Godwin was out. Julio Jones was out. Come on, get out of here. That's like Hawkeye. Come on. Useless.
Hey, yo, he just said that's like Hawkeye. Like I said, I think they should be working. I feel like there's a lot more going on. But like as you said, there has been a slow offensive start for them prior to this season, prior to these games this season. They still sit at 2-1 with their weapons being out, and their defense is still their defense. So, but me personally, I just feel like there's a lot more going on. It's just
maybe that's something to be worried about. You know, Tom Brady off the field stuff, but I don't know about it, so I can't make assumptions. But what I see on the field, I could say I wouldn't worry. But off the field is a totally different game. So maybe I could agree with you there that. I think there is something else going on off the field that we don't know about, so I guess that would be a cause for a little bit of concern.
He predicted this game would be the Falcons' only win. How are you feeling about this, bro? How?
I'm a genius. That's really all I can say. Check the document. Check the document. Week 3 was the only win I gave Atlanta. 1-16, guaranteed. If they go 1-16, it's going on a shirt, and I'm going to put the Talk of the Town logo, and I'm going to sell it. And y'all are going to buy it.
Any thoughts on the Broncos 49ers game, bro? What is going on in Denver right now?
I mean,
bro?
Here's my thoughts. This is written out in bold on my notes. This was a horrible, ugly, disappointing Sunday Night Football game. I mean, my God, it was so bad to watch. The Broncos defense is very good, and while the offense looks slow, they're hanging in the games, and Russell Wilson continues to make the big play in order to win the game. He might look bad for the rest of the game, but when it comes down to it in that fourth quarter, just like he did against the Texans, once again, he led the drive and he won the game. 49ers run game continues to look good. Their defense continues to look good. Jimmy G did not play that bad, but the deciding play was Jimmy G taking the Dan Orlovsky, running out of the back of the end zone for a safety. 17 punts in the game. But, Broncos came out with the dub, and they keep scraping by, but seriously, this AFC West does not look as good as we expected it to, and that is concerning. 5-7 is the overall record right now for the AFC West, and we expected all these teams to be juggernauts. And the funny thing is, the team that's looked probably the worst is tied for first place. The Broncos have not looked good, and they're 2-1. The NFC East is 8-4. The NFC East has the best record in football right now. And the AFC West is sitting at 5-7, and they beat each other a couple times too. The Chargers beat the Raiders, the Chiefs beat the Chargers. So that's 2 of the wins. Maybe we were gassing it up a little bit too much because the NFC East is out here at 8-4, and we were dogging them in our predictions, especially the Giants. I wasn't giving enough love to the Eagles, but the NFC East is looking good, and the AFC West looks garbage.
You tell me about it, dude. Hey, listen, if the Giants go up 3-0 tonight on Monday Night Football, I think the world might erupt.
Now we are going to move on to the deciding factor segment. Jalen, short and sweet. Giants, Cowboys, Monday Night Football tonight. Who wins, and what is the biggest deciding factor?
Who wins? I think the biggest deciding factor is I think the Cowboys are going to take this W, honestly. Be real with you. I don't know if it's home or away. I don't really care about that. But I think Cooper Rush is getting in a little groove, and the biggest deciding factor would be the Cowboys' defense. If the Cowboys' defense can keep Saquon under 100 yards and then have to lead up to Daniel Jones, then that might be the deciding factor.
Thursday Night Football this week. This is the big one, like we said earlier. Dolphins in Cincinnati. 3-0 Dolphins, 1-2 Bengals. Jalen, who wins, and what is the biggest deciding factor?
I got Miami. I can't go against them right now. And I think the biggest deciding factor is if they come out hot, if that offense scores on the first drive, if they get the ball and they score on the first drive, I think that's the deciding factor for me right there. Because if once the Bengals get down, that's when it leaves them questionable about like, hey, now we got to put points on the board. We haven't playing great offensively.
Against that defense, it's even harder.
Miami's defense might have a field day on that Bengals offense.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Talk of the Town Sunday recap. Hope y'all enjoy watching. Be sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. You can check out all Talk of the Town videos with the top link in the description. See y'all next Monday.